Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be covering 8 things that you should do before 1.20 releases. With 1.20 just around the corner, we are now within pre-releases of 1.20, so it should be releasing within the next month or two. So with it just around the corner, as you can see, just around this corner, we're going to be covering 8 things you should do to prepare for the update. This first one is you should build yourself some sort of bamboo farm. If you see yourself building with bamboo wood, prepare now. Bamboo is in the game, and how bamboo wood is crafted is it's actually using the bamboo you get in jungles. You actually put 9 in the crafting table to get a block of bamboo. You can then also place this down and strip it with an axe to get yourself strip bamboo. And you can also turn it into planks and other wood-like blocks in a crafting table as well. But if you have a world you've been playing for quite some time and you don't have a bamboo farm, now is your time to do so, because it takes 9 bamboo for 1 block of bamboo. Bamboo farms can be as simple as this. As you can see, we literally just have a line of bamboo planted down. When this bamboo eventually grows up to meet this observer, it will activate the pistons, dropping it, and then you have a collection system. Can even be a minecart hopper underneath these grass blocks. But yeah, this is it. This is as simple as a bamboo farm can be. If you obviously see yourself using a lot of bamboo, then I'd make either multiple of these, a really long one, or a big massive industrial bamboo farm. Having one of these in the corner of your base and just having it activate while you're building or decorating your base, it should generate a decent amount of bamboo over time. The next thing, if you see yourself wanting to mess with sniffer eggs and sniffers, I would go hunting for a lush cave now, because if you didn't know, sniffer eggs grow quicker on moss. When they are placed on moss blocks, they grow at about 10 minutes until they hatch. If they are planted on any other block, it takes about 20 minutes. You know when it will take that 10 minutes because, as you can see, it has these green particles. If I place it on grass, as you can see, there are no particles there. So if you obviously want a lot of sniffers, go and farm some moss, just so you don't have to wait around for that extra 10 minutes until you get yourself baby sniffers. Now, you only need 1 moss block per egg. It doesn't affect it if you have more around the egg. It literally just affects what block is under the egg. The next 2 things are related to signs. Inside of 1.20, signs have had huge updates. There's a new variant of sign coming in with hanging signs. These come in all the actual wood types, but these are different to these signs. These are the actual plank versions. The new sign is the stripped log versions. So the first thing is, if you want to use hanging signs within your world, I would start making a wood farm. Say you want birch, it actually is not too cheap to craft them. You craft them with the stripped version. So as you can see, let's grab stripped birch right here. You then also need 2 chains and 6 of the log type. And as you can see, it works with one thing I've just learned. It doesn't work with wood, stripped wood. It only works with logs. So make sure you farm these logs. You do get 6 of the signs, but if you obviously see yourself using these a lot, I would start farming the logs now, because they do need to be logs and they do need to be stripped. Trees like jungle and dark oak won't be a problem because you get like a stack of logs on average from a jungle or dark oak, but things like acacia, you don't have as many. So you could probably get like 6 hanging signs per tree. So building some sort of farm for these would make it more efficient. Your bamboo farm could also come in handy right here, because you could make bamboo hanging signs, as that is a thing. So your bamboo farm that you built earlier, if you did build it, could be multi-purpose. The next farm I'd recommend making, so you have things preparing for the sign update, is honeycomb. If you haven't kept up to date with 1.20, you might be asking, why do you need honeycomb for signs? That is because anyone within your world now, this is obviously certainly important for multiplayer worlds, anyone can now update or edit a sign. Meaning that if I had a sign right here, someone can come along and just delete the trails. So it's now 1.20 and tails. There is no trails. This is where honeycomb comes in handy, because you can right click honeycomb on signs to wax them. And as you can see, I can no longer edit this sign. If you're in single player, this honeycomb farm might not be as useful to you. because only you can edit the sign. And obviously if you don't want a sign edited, you probably wouldn't edit it yourself. And as you can see, a bee farm can once again be as simple as this. It's just some beehives. They can also be bee nests. Going out with comparators, detecting the 5 levels with the 5 different redstone, and then going into a repeater that will activate shears within this dispenser. Now once again, this can be tiled, so if you want to obviously extend it, you can do that. It can also be stacked on top of one another if you do also want to do that as well. Now this one is if you are mainly a redstone player. Now, if you are a redstone player, the new actual item here is the calibrated skulk sensor, which is gotten from 3 amethyst shards and 1 skulk sensor. So if you are a redstone player and you see yourself using this a lot, then I would build a amethyst farm, or make sure you have a geode in mind that's dug out where you can get easy access to amethyst shards, and then also have some sort of skulk sensor farm. Now once again, both of these I would maybe suggest not having a farm for them and just having somewhere you can go for easy access. But the skulk sensors, maybe locate an ancient city or deep dark that you can go to and just get a load. And same with amethyst shards, I would just get a load of them so you are ready. You can obviously make farms for them, which if you see yourself using a lot of this calibrated skulk sensors, then definitely do make farms. But I would say just go into a deep dark, you'd end up leaving with about a stack, maybe more, if you obviously mined every single one with silk touch. You can go to a geode, and as long as the actual amethyst is fully grown, you can once again leave with a good few stacks. Also if you have fortune, so make sure you apply fortune to your pickaxe as well. Now I will throw a image on screen of a amethyst farm you could make. It's not automatic in any way, you have to actually go and mine the amethyst yourself. But it is a good idea and design for someone who would want a lot of amethyst. You just need to AFK for a while for it obviously to all fully grow. And skulk sensors, you can actually just use a catalyst, skulk catalyst, and when skulk spreads around catalyst, it has a very low chance to place the skulk sensor, so you could also use that. Now the next thing comes in with mob sounds. Mob sounds is something that you can now do by placing the skull on top of a note block and then playing that note block. As you can see, if I place this skeleton, it'll then place the ambient sound of the mob of the head on top. If you're on a server and you want to prank the people you're on a server with, I would maybe now start farming these heads. Obviously, they are gotten, apart from the wither skeleton, they are gotten from having a charged creeper blow up the mob obviously the head is from. Wither skeletons you can just get from killing wither skeletons. Looting is obviously helpful in that case. So for this one, I would have yourself a chamber of piglings ready, name tagged possibly if they could despawn. Because don't forget, piglings cannot be in the overworld for too long before they do despawn. Let's say you just have a spawning platform that piglins can spawn on. That would then be helpful, so then you can take your charge creepers in to actually blow them up and get the heads. And then when 1.20 comes out, you then won't need to do any prep, and you'll be ready to have the head the minute the update drops. Maybe also craft yourself some note blocks. Note blocks are obviously crafted with 8 planks and a piece of redstone, so not too hard. Your bamboo farm could also come in handy to craft the note blocks. Now the final one is a bit more complicated, and this is only for the people who plan to stay in a old world. I would 100% prune your world for this update, because not only is 90% of the update about exploring, you obviously got things like the hanging signs, which you can get anywhere. Bamboo can generate now, so that won't matter. But if you want things like the sniffers, you have to find a unexplored ocean ruin, because suspicious sand won't generate at ones you've already generated. So these will have to be at chunks you haven't generated. Also, the smithing templates will not be inside a chest you've already opened. So once again, you'll need to explore either further or prune chunks for these. And also pottery shards. Once again, you will not find these in chunks you have generated due to the structure has to be newly generated for the suspicious sand and suspicious gravel to be placed. So for anyone who don't know, I am going to show you how to prune your Minecraft world. I'm not going to go in too much detail with it. I'm just going to show the basics so you guys can get it done. Before you actually prune your world, I would 100% make a backup. So if anything goes wrong, for some reason you might delete the wrong file, or you might lose your world in some way, you then have backed it up so you haven't lost any progress. So as you can see, I've now opened up something called MCA Selector. And this is how I prune worlds. There are a lot more apps. I think there is also a Google page that you can use. But this is what I use because I understand it. I'll have this linked in the description if you do want to download it and use this to prune your world. This is definitely an easy way to do it, so I would definitely recommend getting it. It is an application that you do need to download though. So how you do it is you want to go up here and click File and then Open Region. You'll then be brought to this page right here and you want to find the world that you want to prune. So for example, let's say we want to prune the... What world do we want to prune? Let's just say we want to prune the 120 Let's Play. So once you've found the world you want to prune, you then want to go and click on Region. So just the region folder, and you'll be brought up with this. You then want to click Select Folder, and this will then open up your overworld. As you can see, I'm now inside of my world. I'm only showing you how to prune the overworld. If you do want to prune a nether, you do need to go to Open Region. You want to go to the actual world you have. And then you want to go to dim 1 for the end and dim -1 for the nether. Dim -1, once you click on that, you then want to go to region. And then once again, click select folder. This will open up your nether landscape so you can prune a nether. Say you want to go hunting for the nether templates or the new way to get netherite. And for the end, you just want to go to dim 1 and once again, click region and then select folder. And this will open up your end. But for this example, we're only going to be showing the actual pruning of the overworld. So what you want to do, once you have your world, you can click on these big squares if you want to delete chunks on your own. Let's say you know. As you can see, I can see my buildings right here. This is obviously where I've built, so I know not to delete these chunks. If they are selected in orange, that means you are going to be deleting them. So make sure you don't select anything in orange that you want to keep. You can also zoom in to get smaller squares. Let's say we wanted a little bit off here, or let's say we didn't want this corner deleted. To actually add squares, you left click and drag, or just left click. To delete squares, you right click or right click and drag. Let's say we don't want to do this manually and we want the actual app to do it for us. We can go to tools and filter chunks. Now, how I do it is I do it like this. So you want to click the plus right here. You want to make sure you only have one right here. I have two because this is for example. So for example, that one would be deleted. So let's quickly delete that so we only have the one. If you have 0, just click the plus up here. Now, as you can see, you have a lot of different actual options you can pick right here. So you have biomes. So let's say you only want ice cold biomes to be deleted. You can do that. You can also do ones with structures, entities, tile entities, and stuff like that. For this example, we're going to do inhabited time. And we're going to do this less than. Less than is obviously the one facing or pointing towards inhabited time. And then we want to end this at time that you wouldn't be in a place long enough for the actual terrain to matter. So, for example, if you was in an area you wanted to keep, you would most likely be in it longer than 2 minutes. The reason I say 2 minutes, you can up this to 5 minutes if you stay in areas for long periods of time. But 2 minutes is, you wouldn't be in it long enough if you're traveling there to grab a few bits of sand or something. So I normally do it 5. But if you want to be safe, then do 2. If you then open your world and not much has been pruned, you can then change that up a little bit. So we're going to do inhabited 2. And then we're going to click OK. And as you can see, it's now basically looking for your chunks and seeing if I have been within them chunks for less than 2 minutes. If I've been in them for less than 2 minutes, it's now highlighting them in orange, which means they will be deleted once I click delete. So as you can see, now I've done that, I've got a bit of a mess right here. As you can see, there are some chunks that I wasn't in for longer than 2 minutes where I've obviously flown over it or maybe landed to eat or grab a bit of wood or something. So areas like this, let's say I don't want these. I know there's no buildings there. So I'm just going to smoothen this out a little bit to make it a bit neater. But once again, don't do this if you are not 100% sure buildings are there. So let's say you've gone through and you are now happy with what you have. So I've deleted quite a bit of the world, but not too much. So I would obviously not have to explore too far to find new chunks. I can now explore these, and if there's any structures within this space, they will be reset. So let's say I am done now. I've got rid of all the areas I'm happy with. And I've made my backup, so anything goes wrong, I've got that backup to restore the world before I pruned anything. So now what you want to do is you want to go to selection, and you want to go to delete selected chunks. You are now about to delete 64,778 chunks. This will be different depending on your world size and how much you've explored and how much you're deleting. That could be 10 chunks, that could be thousands of chunks. It really depends once again on how much you've explored and how much you want to delete. So we're now going to click OK. And as you can see, it's now scrolling through the actual world, deleting all the ones in orange. I didn't have to cut that because it did hang right there, but you can now see what it looks like. It does look a bit messy on this map view because as you can see, there's a few missing chunks right there. But these will be regenerated when I fly around the world exploring. Now, obviously, you might want to do it a bit better than this. Like, for example, go through and just look for structures. The actual pruning of the end is a lot easier because it's just floating islands. You can reset pretty much everything. Now, this will automatically save, so you don't have to do anything else. All you now need to do is just close the actual website. Then all you have to do is load up your world you pruned, and it should be pruned. Now, pruning your actual world, I wouldn't do this until like either the day 1.20 releases or the day before, just so then you don't re-explore before it releases again. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe. If this video helped you prepare for 1.20, then do let me know in the comments and make sure to share the video and also leave a like. And I guess I'll see you guys in another one very soon. I will be uploading the day before 1.20 releases with everything new in 1.20 in full depth. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.